What's up, guys? Today is Friday and we are going to be doing some chest. So I just started last week in terms of like switching up my programming for bench. So on Mondays I'm doing a heavy weight, and on Fridays I'm doing a little bit lighter. I'm going up to 245, doing that for regular sets and then pause sets as well. So typically I'm doing like heavy weight Monday and Friday, which is like a 2 to 3 reps of I would say 275 or 280, and then on Fridays is usually the same thing. And after a while I thought that was like really fatiguing me. I started feeling it in my elbow, in my shoulders. So now I'm changing it up a little bit, just adding something different in my workouts. So today I'm probably going to work up maybe 3 warm-up sets, 4 working sets of regular bench, 225, 245, 245, 225, and then I'll do pauses. I'll do 2 sets of 225 for pauses, and then I'll do a set of 245 for pauses, and then I'll probably go back down. So I guess that's 4 sets. So we're going to have 8 total working sets. And then, depending on what I'll do, I might add some tricep work in. But yeah, I went to the beach on Wednesday, and I was tossing around the football, and I kind of tweaked my shoulder because I had an old shoulder injury, like my rotator cuff. So I tweaked it. So yesterday when I was doing shoulders, I was kind of just going light. I did a little bit of overhead press, but not too much. And then when I went to, I totally skipped dumbbell presses, and then I was just doing the accessory work for shoulders. And then I've been rubbing on Bengay and everything, which really helps. So now I'm feeling pretty good. We'll see how it goes. So this is my first warm-up set of the day. I always start up with the plate on each side. I like to bring it down, kind of rest it on my chest, feel the stretch between my outer chest and my shoulders. And I also like to kind of feel out the weight. Your first set, you typically know how your day is going to go. And I typically only do 3 warm-up sets. So I do 135, 185, and then depending on how high I'm going that day, the 225 is probably my 3rd warm-up set. It doesn't take much for me to warm up, but I like to get it going, get the blood rushing in my muscles pretty fast and get that pump going. I know some of the strongest lifters in the world will start at just the bar, and I mean everyone's a little bit different. So for me, I've always done the same thing, either 5 to 8 reps of 135, 5 to 8 reps of 185, and then 225 I usually do 3 or 5 depending on like I said, my programming that day. So here I'm at 225. I think I did this for 5. Yesterday was pretty rough just because I did shoulders on Thursday. So in terms of the actual weight here, just 225, I could feel that I'm not going to be able to get as many reps as I would want. So I just stopped at 5, but the 5, I knew that the weight's a little bit heavy today. Going to 245, I was expecting to hit maybe 8 because I got 9 last week. So I assumed I would maybe lose a rep or so. I ended up only getting I think 7 or 8 on this set. And we got John in the background. John's actually been lifting with me, or not lifting with me, but he's been there for a very long time. He's a very strong guy. He goes by a lot of different types of programming, and I think he's doing the 531 right now. Of course, he has his paperwork with him all the time, but yeah. Trust your spotter. When you're going to go as many as you can, I would always recommend getting a spotter. If he wasn't there, I probably would have stopped the rep before that, but I kind of want to see how I can push it out. This set here, I stopped at 6.5. I went for the 7th rep, but just couldn't do it. I think it was my carbs that I was maybe lacking in, because the day before I didn't really eat much. But yeah, sometimes, you know, like the first couple of sets you're busting it out, and then all of a sudden, you know, like that strength goes away. So I did 3 sets of 3 working sets up to 245. I think this set here is my my final regular set before I went to before I switched to pause sets. I think I just got this for 5. Actually, I don't know. Yeah, I did go for, I think I went for 10. I think I maybe got 8 on this one. Of course, I went all the way just because John was there and he was able to spot me. Otherwise, yep, right there. Trust your spotter. Don't be afraid to fail. Alright, so this is the first pause set. Pauses, I think I just started doing, this is my 2nd week in a row doing pauses on Fridays. Before that, I was pretty much going heavy Monday and Friday. So I feel like these pauses are definitely helping. I did 5 on this day. Probably end up trying to start doing 5 to 8 eventually, but I wanted to stick with 225 and 245 today, so I didn't want to, you know, bite more than I can chew, and then kind of get screwed over in my next set. So 245 doesn't feel that bad. I feel like I can probably squeeze out 4, but I mean, since I'm just starting with the pauses, I'll probably stick with 5 on 225 and 3 on 245 for now. But yeah, it's not feeling too bad. I'm getting some good leg drive right there, and the form is consistent with my regular bench. So this is the 2nd set of 245. You can tell on my normal reps on my normal bench workouts that my sticky point is about, you know, about 4 inches off my chest, so right close to the middle, I would say. Right after the lift off, I'm feeling it, and then I kind of push through, and my lockout is always easy. But here's my last set of pauses at 225. Four solid sets of pauses, 5 solid reps. So I just finished my workout, and a lot more volume than I thought it was going to be. Finished 4 sets of traditional bench, and I did 4 sets of pause. Just 225 and 245, and then we had about 3 working sets. No, 3 warm-up sets. So we were looking at a total of 11 sets on bench, which isn't bad. I was feeling pretty good. I was expecting my shoulders to be a little bit sore from yesterday, and I mean, I could feel it here and there, and I just didn't have as much energy as I thought I would. But that's okay. I mean, if you're gonna do shoulders and bench, you know, back to back, that's usually good. That's what's gonna happen. So I'm not too surprised on that. And then I moved over to incline after. Obviously I didn't record that, but I was just doing 135, 4 sets of 10, just quick sets, just to keep the chest warm as I was leaving. Primarily, since I already squatted Wednesday, I figured I would just do chest, and I mean, just pretty much bench today. But yeah, pretty successful, and can't wait for Monday. I'm looking to do 275 for 5. So 275 for 5. Last week I did 275 for 4. So we're hoping to add another rep to that. I feel like I could have struggled and gotten the 5th one, but I was also, you know, like, that was in the middle of the bench workout, so I didn't want to, you know, like, fatigue myself out for the following sets. But yeah, we're shooting for 5 on Monday, and keep you guys posted.